One of those summer days, we ended up having a major tornado. So the next morning, I spent a lot of time with my dad looking at the damage and then cleaning up our yard, and then headed over to our neighbors to help Gus and his family clean up all brush away. Well, didn't think anything of it, right? Well, about a month later, pick up the phone. Hey, Mitch, it's Gus. I got something for you. Come on over. I want to pay you for your services for helping us clean up after the tornado. And when you give all of yourself without any expectation of return, so you create an opportunity to be rewarded in ways you might not expect.
Hey there, business enthusiasts. Welcome to the Chills Podcast, brought to you by All Weather Roof. Because just like a sturdy roof, our conversations are built to last. I'm your host, Brent Loberg, and we're about to dive into the world of business, family, and the moments that give us those exhilarating chills. Ever wonder what keeps successful people inspired? Well, get ready to find out as we chat with some fantastic all-weather customers, partners, vendors, and friends. We'll explore their triumphs, challenges, and maybe even some unexpected secrets. After all, business is not just about numbers. It's about the people behind them. So grab your metaphorical popcorn and join us on this journey. Get ready to be inspired, maybe even get a few chills of your own. This is the Chills Podcast. Let the goosebumps begin.
Thanks for having me here. And Mitch Simonson. I grew up in Cokato, Minnesota, a small town. And when I was 9, I got sent to Dassel Elementary, the neighboring school, down 5 miles down the road. One of those summer days, we ended up having a major tornado. Okay. And that was another major altering moment at 9 years old.
Yep.
So started with that school bus, not wanting to go on to that neighboring school. Saw this local guy that planted a seed in me. And then after that tornado, it destroyed a lot of the homes in town. The lumberyard building had the wall blown out, leaving lumber all over the street. Our neighbor's garage was gone, ripped down to its foundation. So the next morning, I spent a lot of time with my dad looking at the damage and then cleaning up our yard, and then headed over to our neighbors to help Gus and his family clean up all brush away. Well, didn't think anything of it, right? Well, about a month later, back in the yard playing with my neighbor boys, and my mom comes to the window with her long, stretchy telephone cord. Hey, Mitchell, telephone for you. It's Gus. Well, why has Gus called me? Pick up the phone. Hey, Mitch, it's Gus. I got something for you. Come on over.
And who's Gus?
Our neighbor, the neighbor dad. So there were 4 boys that I grew up playing with almost every day, every sport imaginable. And Gus was their dad.
Okay.
And so I hopped on my bikes, raced up their driveway, and there's Gus waiting with a white envelope. Hands it to me to open it. Slide out a check made to Mitch Simonson for $15.
Okay.
And Gus is like, we got our insurance settlement and want to pay you for your services for helping us clean up after the tornado. So that moment, it changed my life. As I've looked back, it taught me everything what I needed to know about what it takes to succeed as a husband, as a father, as a business owner.
Sure.
And when you give all of yourself without any expectation of return, you create an opportunity to be rewarded in ways you might not expect.
Sure.
And so now today, I've got a business. I've got a commercial real estate appraisal business. We provide valuation services across Minnesota, North Dakota, surrounding states on an as-needed basis for different litigation matters. There's always, or not always, but conflict and challenges with properties, property tax appeals, and financing, people buying and selling. And just whenever people have valuation problems that need to be solved, we're there to help provide that service.
Okay. So you have a coaching business as well.
I do, yeah. So the last couple of years, I would say I've been appraising now for 20 years, and I probably hit a point maybe 3 or 4 years ago where I just been grinding away and maybe started to get a little burnt out, and started doubling down on some training and coaching for myself. And that helped reveal this. I love helping people. I hate seeing people in pain. And so through that journey, I started helping some of my friends and just kind of acquaintances. And all of a sudden I realized it revealed this love for helping people. And so it led to actually starting a coaching business as well.
Okay.
And so I do select one-on-one coaching with entrepreneurs,
Sure.
help them kind of ignite that spark in their eye again, the fire in their belly. It's helping them create alignment with their business, their family.
Okay.
As well. That's important to me.
I bet you have a lot of experience. I see you have 10 kids.
We now have 11 actually. Yeah. 11 kids.
Wow.
They're all ours. And
unbelievable.
So we're in the trenches every day.
For sure.
Oldest is 17, he's a senior now.
Okay.
And he'll be graduating next year.
Okay.
7 boys and 4 girls.
Okay. And the youngest was just born this year? Or?
Yeah, July 27th.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
So 11.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you teach this stuff, but you do it every day as well.
Yeah. I mean, I live it. I have to, right? Like, I'm a big believer. So I have a keynote that I've built. It's got 3 critical steps that are most important to me. It's called helping people live with more meaning, margin, and miracles.
Okay, yeah, I saw the M's on your
Okay,
website.
yeah, Triple M coaching. And so what that is, I mean, that to me drives everything I do. It's helping shape, so that way I can fit it all in, right? Whether it's business or being aware and present for my wife and for my kids. Time for exercise. I love exercising. We have a lot of hobbies. We love to travel. So meaning is like getting really clear on what are your values, what's important to you, and understanding, like we all have goals, right? But if you're leaning up the ladder against the wrong wall and chasing the wrong goals, I've seen it happen to a lot of people. Like you end up feeling kind of frustrated and burnt out and maybe a little bit lacking fulfillment.
Sure.
But when you can align your goals with what's really important to you, and why, having greater clarity on why you're doing these certain things, pushing hard, right? Your life has more meaning then. It energizes you.
Sure. So it's more about focusing time in the right places.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my mentors, Darren Hardy, he was with Success Magazine for many years. I studied all of his content for a couple of years, starting in 2010. And I did this 8-week program with him called Design the 10 Best Years of Your Life.
Okay.
And the big thing that stuck with me from that is build your life first, design your life plan, and then build and grow your career business in a way that enhances your life. And most people go into business and put all their life and energy into that and then squeeze them life around it. But if you approach it from the other perspective, I found it's been a game changer for me.
Sure.
And part of that, I discovered it, through by accident too. Because again, I work a lot and I love working, and you get like in our appraisal business, it's driven by deadlines a lot.
Sure.
And so, we got a motor home a couple of years after we were married back in 2013. But my challenge was I'm working, right? So when do we have time to use it?
Yep.
And so we started getting creative, my wife and I had a trip to Montana I was looking at 19 furniture stores across North Dakota and Montana.
Okay.
And we just said, you know what? We've had this motor home. Let's just throw the kids in there. We homeschool.
Okay.
So let's give it a shot and see how it goes. So we mapped out all of our stops and, both work stops and some fun stops. And it ended up being one of my favorite trips ever. So that just like blew my mind open. Like I can get more intentional about this.
Yep.
Have fun, spend time with my family. I'm still going to be working, not feeling like I'm over here and missing out here.
Mm-hmm.
And that I just continue to kind of play with that and lean into it.
Sure. And what does your wife do? Is she stay at home with all the kids?
Primarily, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
She does. She actually does some relationship coaching. And this past year, she did a TEDx talk in Youngstown, Ohio, just on, helping teenagers with different mental health challenges that they're facing today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you involve the kids with your businesses all?
We homeschool our kids, but I try to be as involved as I can and help and pull out of them what excites them, where their dreams want to take them. And they've been just hustling on their own for years. Like that's who they are. They get excited by it. So I'm just kind of helping provide some oversight, not directly involved in the day-to-day.
Sure.
But that's been a lot of fun. And then my third oldest, He's obsessed with all things marketing.
Okay.
And I've taken him to a few different higher level, like business, personal development type courses.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of completely changed their perspective and opened their eyes and allowed them to start exploring more of what they want to do, kind of looking ahead.
Sure.
So my third oldest, he's 15, but he's been studying marketing, all things marketing. And so he's been starting to help me know some of the things I do with my marketing. So that's been fun.
Sure. Do you have any twins in there?
No twins. No twins.
I believe the 11. It's not even grass, especially since you guys were married in 2013.
We were married in 2006.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I thought you said 13.
Oh, we got our motorhome in 2013.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yep. Anything interesting going on with your family besides work and all the kids you have? Funny stories?
Funny stories. Well, this one might be a little unusual or funny. I don't know if it's funny or weird or what, but I'll let you decide. So we have 11 kids, and first 4 were born in a hospital. But my wife, after the 4th one, she's like, I want to have a midwife, and we're going to have it at home. I'll tell you, that was my biggest fear. I joke that I can get oogly-eyed over an Excel spreadsheet, but anything else, it's like we get weak pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
And so my biggest fear is that, okay, I'll commit. She's a powerhouse, my wife, yeah, and I'm all in. But my biggest fear is that the midwife at some point isn't going to show up, and I'm going to have to be the guy to deliver. Well, on her ninth delivery, Grace, 4-year-old girl, that delivery, the midwife didn't quite make it.
Okay.
So her name is Grace. I probably was exhibiting other signs of anything but Grace. But so now I delivered that baby.
Wow.
Everything worked out. Just us two. Everything worked out. The midwife was about 20 minutes behind. Everything worked out perfectly, thankfully.
Wow.
But so now I like to joke that I carry around a white lab coat in my pickup truck and you can call me Doc.
Did that ever happen again?
No. The midwife's like on high call, like high alert. Like, you will be here. So
you're paying her extra. Hang out next door. We got 11 kids on the way.
Yeah.
How about with the company? Anything funny stories? Anything interesting? Anything new coming up?
Our appraisal business, it's as far as new or fun, I would say the biggest thing. So I started Simonson Appraisals in 2019, January of 2019. I was in a partnership from 2012 to 2018. And for whatever reason, I had this dream to just start a business from scratch. Maybe I'm stubborn, maybe I'm ignorant, but that's what I chose to do, right? And so it's been a heavy lift, but it's been a lot of fun. And I would say like the last 12 to 18 months in particular have probably been some of the funnest of my life working and in my business. We're attracting some incredible opportunities. And I think our team, we're about a team of 8 right now.
Okay.
And the team is just starting to gel, and seeing my employees grow and develop their skill set and show up and commit 100% to we solve some pretty complex valuation problems that are just not easy to solve. And it takes time and enough reps to be able to get to that point. So that's been super rewarding, and it allows, I feel like we can serve our clients at a higher level then. And that's like the fun, exciting part is just, we're getting some great opportunities right now and allowing the team to roll up their sleeves, and they're committing. And that's been super fun versus me trying to, finish everything at the last minute.
Sure.
It's been a big change for me, honestly.
Okay.
Very rewarding.
Yeah, awesome. Any tidbit of advice you can give the audience? I know you've had this business for a long time. Why the recent upswing and just what you're just talking about? Yeah,
so I would say one thing. I just had an article published that went on to a bunch of appraisers in a working real estate magazine, and so in 2023, I think you're in commercial real estate as well on the roofing side.
Yep.
Yeah. So from the last many years up until 2022, transactions, and I've spoken at different real estate events. I think I spoke in 2022 where the trend, I speak on valuation trends, and the trend for many years was record highs. Everything's increasing in value. Absorption is high. The market was strong for many years in a row. Well, then when interest rates started to increase in 2022, that totally changed the financing market. And so 22, 23, into 24, bank transactions and people buying and selling slowed down a lot. Some property types are down 70% just in terms of number of sales compared to a prior year. And so that happened in 2009 when I was early in my career.
Sure.
And at the time I was an employee, and I remember that's when I really dove into training and learning and understanding like personal development and what can I control. The one thing I can control no matter what is my activity level and how active I am and serving and getting in front of more people. So when I saw that start to change in 2022, I said, the market's shifting. I'm pulling on my boots and I'm going to get after it and work harder than I ever have before. And so I leaned into speaking more training, more communicating, and sharing more of, what we do, who I am. And I think business comes down, at least with us, people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And that's just led to new opportunities that we didn't have before.
Okay.
And so it's consistently creating those, what I call IGAs, income generating activities. If you can consistently be creating those and not, just ride in the market, that helps alleviate some of those ups and downs. So you'll be a little more selective.
Sure. So you're out there not necessarily doing something that's going to drum up business, but you're putting yourself out there and then people know you, they know what you do, and then they might reach out for whether it's a coaching thing or an appraisal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Kind of like doing the podcast.
Right? Yeah.
Your name's going to get out there and.
Okay. Exactly. And I think I always joke that no one wants an appraisal. They need one, right?
No one wants a freaking roof.
No one wants a roof. Until the roof is leaking, it's like, when can you come, right?
Yeah.
But and we're a small business, right? But if I can, and I don't have the opportunity to just be networking all the time, but if I can do these podcasts and I can get on LinkedIn and provide different market updates or different insights that I'm learning and things that excite me, my goal is if you're a roofer and you hear someone that, hey, I'm looking to buy a building, do you know an appraiser? I know Mitch. Maybe we have this interview and we don't talk again for 6 months, but you see me on LinkedIn, right? Stay in front of mind.
Exactly.
And I think that helps. The more activity I create on a consistent basis, I get calls from appraisers, brokers, accountants, attorneys. It just it creates that waterfall effect.
Sure. And it's fun to get out there and meet people and build relationships. And like you were talking about earlier, being authentic, that people get to know the real you and they want to do business with you. That just adds icing on the cake.
Yeah. What's interesting is, I've been on LinkedIn. That's been my primary social media channel since I started. I was back in 2009, 2010, started to play around with it. And at first, all I did was create real estate content. It was weird for me to try to create something about who I am and that kind of thing, right? Or some of my hobbies. It wouldn't have crossed my mind to do that. But over time, LinkedIn's filled up with a lot more creators, and we're inundated with information, right? And real estate specific content, it kind of gets lost in the noise, I've found. Mm-hmm. And obviously I still share some of it's important. But I think our advantage now is creating that unique individuality and just sharing more of what drives you and what excites you. And if you can tie it back into, I love exercising, right? Mountain biking, running, those kind of things. Well, that's when I get my best ideas.
For sure.
So I normally create a post right on the fly right there, and it seems to help. Yeah. So it's doing things more of what you love to do while mixing it with work. I think that's been working, at least for me.
Okay. So the name of the podcast is called The Chills, and that's what makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck in a good way, or on your arms, in business, what gives you that real feel good?
Yeah. So one of my critical steps is creating more miracles in your life, right? Meaning margin miracles. And I often say it's those little miracle daily moments. I love like just the last month, we've sent out a couple of complex assignments that they're like, we had to hustle and put in the work to get them across the finish line. But seeing the growth of one of my employees and their ability to articulate it, we write, 100 to 150 page reports, and it's all flows cohesively and it ties everything together. And knowing the work, because I've gone through the steps of that same exact process, but knowing that someone else is willing to do that, and for our company, like that, honestly, it seems maybe simple, but I'm so grateful for that kind of experience, to see that and to be able to work with people committed to that level of mastery.
For sure.
That's a big one for me. On the coaching side, like what I love to see is when I can have a conversation with someone, sometimes over a couple of hours, where they come in and they're feeling a little frustrated or burnt out, but we can activate them and get that fire in their eye and the spark back in their belly, where they're just like, you can see the shift in their face even. That's something business-wise that I absolutely love.
Sure. I like that. Yeah, really good. How about family-wise, the chills?
Family, again, I think it's the simple things a lot of time. We travel a fair amount. We spend time up in Upper Michigan. My in-laws live up there in the summer, Lake Superior. I mean, perfect. We were there in September. Perfect beach day. It was 80 degrees, little bonfire in the evening, sun setting.
For sure.
Just everyone's hanging out, having a good time. Those simple moments are super rewarding, for sure. And now as our kids are getting older, seeing them like push out beyond their comfort zone and creating, achieving more of their dreams. One quick little story. So we have a second set of 3 boys, 10, 8, and 6 right now. Okay. And they told me last fall that they wanted to build a fort out in the woods.
Okay.
And I could have went out and bought the material. We could have built one, but they wanted one that they could sleep in. And so instead we made it a homeschool project. We crafted, laid out the building plans. Then we brainstormed ideas how they could raise money. And one of them was they were going to make chocolate chip cookies and then sell them.
Okay.
So we helped them buy the supplies and they made cookies, but then they ended up selling a ton of cookies and earned most of the funds for this 8x8 shed fort that they built. But they got a couple of no's right away, but then on their first sale was a $30 sale. And they grew about 6 inches that day.
Oh, yeah.
That gave me chills. Like,
for sure.
I knew, that's going to stick with them for the rest of their life.
Kind of like the storm.
Yeah, the storm. It's like knowing that, how pivotal that moment was and how it shaped me. We all have these defining moments in our life. And that one, I could just see it. We've talked about it. It's like the feeling that they get. Like they were chasing their dream and fulfilling on it. So it was super exciting.
Okay. So did they end up sleeping in the fort then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, they spent most of the summer out there.
And is that your place or in Michigan?
This is at our place in Greenfield. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That was a rewarding moment.
There was something about young boys like that and building forts and sleeping outside, and whether it's a tent or...
I think every boy dreams of that, right? I mean, we camped as kids. I know outside just me and my buddies, but it seems like every boy has that mind where they're wanting to do that.
Yeah, for sure. How do people get in touch with you?
Several ways. I have 2 websites. My appraisal website, www.simonsonappraisals.com.
Okay.
My coaching website's my name, www.mitchellsimonson.com. I'm on LinkedIn. That's my primary social media channel. Feel free to look up my name on there, and happy to connect. And phone number, 612-618-3726.
Okay. Do you still have the copy of the check from when you did the...
I don't. I mean, I can almost see it, line by line in my mind.
Sure.
I've discovered that story the last couple of years, actually. And so I've relived it now. I didn't realize it was such a pivotal moment, how it's given me so much drive to today.
Sure. And you're kind of doing the same broad of business. I mean, and it was an insurance claim, right? You're doing appraisals.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same type of.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I feel like I'm fulfilling or living my childhood dream,
And when your kids sold the cookies, did you kind of retell that story or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah. I mean, and one of the things, like, I love to try to, plant those moments that are defining for the kids and like help them understand like how powerful it is. So like one of the things I asked them after we, it took many months. I got busy, like we got earned some of the money and then we had to build it. But after they'd spent a couple nights in that fort, I said, what's it feel like to have earned the money to actually be sleeping and it's reached your goal, right? And then now you're sleeping. And he's like, it's everything I dreamed of and more.
Yeah.
Holy
cow. Talk about the chills.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that was like, yes, we did it. And I told him, I want you to remember that moment.
Yeah.
That's what life's about, isn't it?
Sure.
The more you can stack those throughout, then you're creating more of those chilling moments on an ongoing basis. And to me, that's living.
For sure. Yeah. And that's going to obviously create him and could create his potential business in the future. Just that one little life lesson.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So very cool. Yeah. Well, it was fun to have you on.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Enjoy the conversation and love what you guys are doing here.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share before we go off air?
My last little pitch here would be, I could talk about this meaning, margin, miracles every day myself, but to me, I want everyone else to start living it and breathing it and being it.
Sure.
And the more that you can get intentional about being that person, creating your own meaning in your own life, knowing your own values, creating margin or time for what's really important, both business and family and personal health, then you're going to create more of those chills, right? Those miracle pinch me moments where you're like, yes, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. I love it.
It's all get after it and do it.
I love it. Super inspiring.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I love it. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Motivational for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap, folks. A huge thank you to our incredible guests and, of course, All Weather Roof for making this podcast possible. If you enjoyed these conversations as much as we did, don't forget to hit subscribe and share the chills with your fellow business aficionados. Remember, it's not just about business, it's personal, and it's all about the people. Stay inspired, chase those dreams, and let the chills guide you. Till next time, this is Brent, signing off from the Chills Podcast. Catch you on the flip side.